On today's episode, we're going to work on the back end of this blazer. All right, this is Working Man's Restoration's about using what we got laying around. So I just got done moving these again, me and my wife did, and I got to thinking about it, and I said, I wonder if I could use any of these to fix the back half of that blazer. I mean, even if I had to put too high or cut it in half or something. You know, it's about as thick as the original. It's actually thicker than the original stuff was. I would end up using the stuff that's not all rusty already. Then I don't have to clean it to redo it. But I even thought of making some bumpers out of these. Taking them and I think they're 8 feet long. Taking them, making them 2 or 3 high. And then capping the ends off, or even maybe putting a little miter a little corner around it and weld a corner on it. Thinking about it. But back when I used to drive flatbed, we used this for a product. We picked up landfill liners down in Georgia, and they were rolls, so we had to stick these in the stake beds of the trailer, and then once I come back up here, I don't like strapping that stuff back down on the flatbed, so I just usually brought it back home. So we may use this steel for something here in the future. Maybe I'll even make a back bumper out of it or something. I just put the front bumper on it, so I really don't want to. I like the factory front bumper. It's not real heavy or thick or anything, but, you know, it would be kind of cool, I think. That may be what I test some of my welding skills on, because I'm not that great of a welder. Okay, that's it for this part. Alrighty, to start episode 12, I did have an idea. I have some stuff laying around that I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it before this video here. But I think there might be a way to use that stuff, because it's got to sit. We got to cut that down, cut all that out. So first of all, what I'm going to do is take the tailgate off, which is that and that secure mount right there. But first, I guess I'm going to take some paper and draw a diagram of what this looks like, because I got to be able to get that far down to get the new piece. So I don't know if I'm going to stand 2 of them on end like this, because they're like a 2x4 kind of, and then take it in, notch out the bottom one, maybe I can notch, depending on how far down this is right here, or maybe I'll put a gap between the two. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. But I think, you know, if I put 2 side by side or 2 stacked on top of each other, somehow there's a way that I can use that steel. There has to be. And then I'll put it all the way in here. Looks like I'll have to build this down a little bit more. Or what I thought about doing too is coming back into here, because that looks like about exactly what that is. Maybe I'll take this out and run up here where it's solid and weld it in there, and then I can get my proper height right here, because it doesn't do no good to put this piece in if this doesn't set on it right. So luckily I have a good model, so I'll just have to put that back window down, and she still runs with no motor, no transmission, just battery's dead. So I think what Working Man's Restoration's all about is using what we got and trying to fix what, you know. That's why I put this motor in here. A buddy of mine says, Brian, why are you going to do an LS swap on that when you don't have the LS stuff ready? You have that OBS truck just sitting there. He says, use that motor. That's what Working Man's Restoration's about, is using what we got. So I took those words to mine, and this will be getting an LS swap someday, but I don't have the parts ready. That truck on the top of the hill, that red truck in the background, but not that blazer, but behind it, has a 4.8 LS in it, but it's seized right now, and I don't have I didn't have a transfer case, so that's why I had to take the transmission and anyway, long story short, I'm trying to get all my square bodies down, but that 3/4 ton 2-wheel drive, I might make an LS 4-wheel drive using the driver's side drop transfer case from that up there. Actually, the OBS has one too. The OBS up there has a driver's side drop. So if depending on which one's bigger and heavier, then all I got to do is put a Dana 44 that's I believe Dana 44 from that they put in Fords. They put them in Fords, but it's a Dana 44 axle. Okay, so hopefully we don't catch too much flack on that. But I'm trying to sell this 2,500. Nobody wants to buy it, so yet if somebody buys it, I will. If not, I'll do an LS swap, 2-wheel drive to 4-wheel drive, so I'll kill 2 birds with 1 stone and go from there. But that's long story down the road. We're working on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and get some of them tubes out. I'm gonna draw out some diagrams. I'm not really good at drawing, so you guys are gonna laugh at that, but so I know that the body is sitting down a little bit, judging by this right here. So I'm going to try to measure as much of this as I can, like from the frame to here. Needs to be that high. But, and actually there's enough of it right here. So we're not just going to go in and start ripping stuff out. We are going to see, because that does sit lower. But I'll have to get pictures and stuff from the other one. But this will need to be built up some. If you can see that, yeah, that'll need to be built up some. So I don't know how far up I should go with that other stuff. Maybe I'll see what I got, you know, if there's a little bit like left over, so I don't have to cut a whole piece up. But this one is rusty, but I don't know, you know, how good it is. But what we're gonna need to do is get it jacked up, we'll have to get the body jacked up somehow, and get her sitting right, and I'm going to start cutting this stuff out, okay? I'll get you back on when I got more to report. Well, okay? I tried to get as much as I could. I got this hinge unbolted, and I got the spring, the rod that's a spring in there. I tried to unbolt it down there, but it's blocking the hinge from coming out. So, say hello to my little friend, Mr. Sawzall. It's time to just zip that and zip that. You know, a guy can only take so much of ripping and yanking and goofing around. Bird just flew by my head. So I'm just gonna zip it, zit, and zip it, zit, and then she'll come right out. So, well, then I'll have more room to work with to get this little feller out, because it's hooked down there. I tried to soak that and get that out, but it's not coming out. And I tried to unbolt this rod, I'm assuming from here, and this rod just won't come out of the tailgate. So I've tried standing it up, I've tried laying it down, I've tried everything I can do. Now it's time for my little Sawzall friend. So I'll let you guys know. All right, when I'm done. This is the piece that's bad. It's out. Took a lot of freaking work too. And this is up into there, so I'm going to replace part of that. This is the body mount. Gotta figure out how to get that out. That's how thin that wore. This is the other body mount. So, and I did see, yeah, a little bit around the frame. It's after the spring, so don't worry too much about it. Maybe, I don't know, you know, a project can get out of hand really freaking fast. So that's why I'm not touching the rest of it, because if I tear all into this, tear all the interior out and everything, then it's one hell of a project. But for now, I know that I'm going to have to make some little channel and go around all this. I know all this is bad, and I'll work on this at the same time. But what I'm going to end up doing is coming back into here. I got a subscriber of mine, George, has some corrugated stuff that I'm gonna end up going and picking up. He's got a 6-inch lift too. I'm gonna go take out of another blazer he's got. So I'm gonna go from pretty much the back half, and then I'm gonna make a new fuel access door the correct way, not with like this way. And I'm going to replace the whole back half right here, but I'm going to use these pieces of steel right here. They look thicker than the original stuff, so I don't know what they are. Basically a 2x4, whatever. I got 2 of them for now, so what I'm going to do is kind of cut them oversized for width, I guess that's the width. And then I guess I'm going to have to pull out the interior panel so I can get all the way to the brace right there. I got to quit looking. I got to look through my phone instead of looking where I'm going. So I'm probably going to take this piece off for now so that I can see, because I want to work on just this back half right here. Just this back half. That's all I want to work on for now. I want to get this section done. I got it running. It's running and driving. Now I can move it in and out. A guy can't get too far into this stuff, because then next thing you know, it's too much work, and it won't get done. I know that's what I find on a lot of projects. That needed a transmission, so I put a transmission and transfer case in it. That one needed a motor, so I put a motor in it. I did motor, a little bit of body work. There it is. I pulled the transmission out of this, and I need to get another one. Did I get gas in there?
Yeah.
Okay. That needed a motor. I put a motor in it. I know my attention span. I know what I can do, and that is a little bit at a time. If it wasn't running, I wasn't going to start on this stuff, because then oh my God, I got to get it running. I got to do this. I got to do that. It's too much of a project. So when you guys are tackling projects like this, or that, or that, or that, know your limits. And go just a little further than that. That's what I do. I just go a little further than my limits. So I'm going to sit here and stare at this for a while. I'm probably going to get the body bolts out. I'm going to end up needing a whole body mount kit for it, because it needs them for the front. So I'm just going to go through and figure out what I need. I saw, you can't really tell, but these are different. So I think what happened was somebody welded a bolt on the other side, and that's how that's held in. I'm not really happy with that. I got to figure out if I want to fix this or not. I think I am. I just really don't really know how to. So I think what I'll do is just go, just cut a piece over this, I think. So I don't know. I'm going to be towing stuff around the yard. I'm not going to be towing anything big and major. So I'll probably try to beef it up a little bit. Probably grind these rivets out and just weld a new piece to that. I can't get too far into it. If I say, well, I got to do it right, and then tear it all apart and tear the whole thing apart, next thing you know, it's too far gone to do anything with. I'm doing it piece by piece, guys, and you guys are going to see it. So I'll do a little bit more and let you know where I go, guys. This is what we got so far. I cut this down to 71 inches. I tried to get it as long as I could to make sure it goes as far into each end. And this end had a little bit more room in there to get in there. So that's kind of what I'm going to go off of. And then if you pick it up to there, I got to see if that's going to work still. But this side has a lot more room to go because this piece is out. Now, one thing I've always thought about doing was going to be kind of cool was I was going to do it with a round piece. But you know, because this is older and, you know, a little bit of the body's worn and stuff. Once I get this back up into place where it's going to be, you know, off of here just a little bit, then I got to figure out what I'm going to do about the motor, motor mount. Okay, body mount. I think I'm going to take a piece like this and angle the corner so that it'll weld straight to there. I want to do it a little bit smaller than that. Probably, down to this area right here. Not much further than the wheel well. I think one would look kind of neat. Have about that much gap right there in the corner, and then cut that piece of steel to match. And I've always wanted to do that. I've wanted to do it round before, but now that I got this stuff here, I probably might do that. And I might even make a back bumper out of it. I'm not sure yet, like a 2-stacked bumper. But I think it'd be kind of neat because this is a square body to use square tube bumpers. Well, actually, they're rectangle, but it's not round. So I'm going to go back up to here. I'm going to cut it all the way up to here and cut it straight across. And then I'm going to weld it all in. I'm going to overlap it and weld it real nice. And then I'm going to cut a new panel right in here out of the new section and make an access panel for my fuel pump, because that's always a good thing to have. And then the new panel will come right up to here. I'm not sure if I'm going to cut this off like this, because I'm not sure how the body mount would work at that point. I might have to just take a piece of, actually I might take one of these, run it into here like a foot, or run it all the way to the edge. That's what I might do, and kind of like frame it, kind of like a house, and then leave the top flat, and then cut this out, so then the body mount would fit on there. That's what I might do. Or maybe put 2 across. That's what I might do. Put 2 across, weld them together, and then put another one out here like I was talking about to help brace it and strengthen it. But that's pretty neat. We had to move those today to get the chicken house, the chicken coop runway done. So I really think that's going to work. I don't know how much clearance that needs, because it's only got, that much. I might notch this up a little further, because that's bad anyway. So I can move this up as high as I need to clearance that. If I put it that much higher, like if I cut it up to here and made big enough to fit the body mount underneath the other one, then that's going to make my opening a little bit smaller and make a little bit of a lip. But that's what I got to be able to do. I got to get that to fit under at the body mount right here. So if I welded these two together and then cut the notch out that I want to do right here on the bottom side, cut it out right here so that this will fit in there, that might be the way to go. And then leave this. Yeah, well, if I weld the two together, that'll make it nice and strong for a body mount too. And then maybe when I make this piece, so it'll basically be like this. It's not going to go because it's cold, but so if I put these side by side, perfect like this, and then when I run the one like that, I got to pull the camera back more so I can see it, then maybe overlap it this far. That might be nice too. Then I can weld this one and this one together and make just like the top. I don't know if that makes any sense what I'm trying to say. But cut, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I talked it out. Then the body mount will be using 3 pieces of steel, basically, because there'll be a top on this, a top on this, and then it'll be braced in there, and then this will be welded together, so the body mount would be right there under both of these, and then a plate over the top. Yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense, but I got it pictured in my mind. I think that's the way it'll work, so I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to think about it tonight, and it's okay if this opening, I think, I'll have to double check with the tailgate, and then I'll have to figure out how I'm going to mount the tailgate, because I'll have to notch out here for the hinges and get that figured out. So, okay, that's it for now.